Let us start with carbohydrates. This is one of the important food component. See, when we get tired, when we get tired when we play, we will get tired when we play or climb any higher altitude or run or doing work hard. So this happens. What happens? We lose our energy. Okay, we lost our energy, then we'll become tired. Okay, or sometimes doing vigorous exercises, at that time also will die. So means what? This happens because when our body do work, it spends stored energy. It spends stored energy. So when the energy is spent, then to get the instant energy, we drink glucose, you know that. So to get instant energy, you can see sports, okay, athletes, they drink what? Glucose. Why they drink glucose solution? This glucose give instant energy to do works. Means by that when we tired while doing work hard, then immediately we can drink this glucose solution. This glucose solution provide instant energy to the person. So it's nothing but why we get energy? Because this glucose is also one kind of a carbohydrate, right? So that's why we'll get instant energy. Then by drinking that, even you can see in different advertisements also, right? So in that advertisements they'll use to drink different types of drinks. By that we can get energy, means that contain carbohydrates. So here what is meant by carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are nothing but energy giving food. So we'll get energy from the carbohydrates. So that's why carbohydrates are called energy giving food. So these are the main sources of strength. These are the main sources of strength and energy. Strength and energy. Main sources of strength and energy are what? Carbohydrates. It consists of three different types of elements, that is carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So these carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, they both are, these three are joined together and then they form glucose. So in a carbohydrates, which elements are present in the carbohydrates? Means carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. These are the three elements are present in the carbohydrates. So these elements are stored in the body in the form of glycogen. So it produces glucose and this glucose convert into glycogen, and this glycogen stored in our body, and when we require energy, this glycogen again turns into glucose and it's release energy. Isn't it? For example, we are doing vigorous exercise or continuous running. What happens? So the glucose which is present in our body already stored in the form of glycogen. So in this glycogen, what will be? These are the elements that present, means carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. So now we require energy. So at that time, while running we require energy, right? So at that time the glycogen which is inside our body turns into glucose, right? So because of some actions, some reactions that takes place in our body, so then the glycogen turns into glucose, means, and this glucose convert into energy. How? What it consists? It consists carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So this carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, when it is in the form of glucose, split. Means this is a complex convert into simple. So by splitting this carbon, hydrogen, oxygen elements which are inside the glucose, splitting and they produce energy. So splitting and we get energy. Along with energy, from our body there is some heat energy also released. Some heat. So heat released and carbon dioxide and finally energy. See, when we require energy, glycogen turns into glucose and this glucose break down. When this glucose break down, we will get these three components, these three products. What are the three products? Carbohydrates, heat, energy. So that's why you can observe while doing exercises or doing any work hard, while doing your work hard, you can find some heat produced from your body. At the same time, your rate of breathing, respiration rate also increases. So you expel out more amount of carbon dioxide. From where you will get releasing this carbon dioxide? Means when the glucose molecule split, when glucose molecules wet and this carbon dioxide will be released and heat energy also released. So that's why you will feel more hot while doing hard work. At the same time, energy also released. This energy utilized by your body to do that work, and this heat and the carbon dioxide released out, right? This is about the carbohydrates. So in this way, carbohydrates provide energy to us while doing vigorous exercises or any hard works, right? So, and carbohydrates are we can get in two forms. Okay, that is in the form of starch and sugar. Sugar means whatever sweets, jams, jellies, there we can get there the sugar is present. So if you eat that sweets and such kind of jams, jellies, such things, you will get carbohydrates. And some carbohydrates are stored in the form of starch, where from plant products like chapati, rice, potato, food grains, so banana. So from there also you will get carbohydrates. But if you will consume the plant products, you will get the starch. This is one kind of food carbohydrate. If you eat any sweets or anything, from there also you can get carbohydrates, but that is in the form of sugar. Okay, there is two forms of carbohydrate, in the form of starch, in the form of sugar, isn't it? So like this, likewise we'll get carbohydrates and they helps to our body. And one more thing, 1 gram of carbohydrate will provide 4 kilocalories of energy, right? 1 gram of carbohydrate gives us 4 kilocalories of energy. So remind this, it is very important. 1 gram of, sorry, not kilocalories, 4 calories of energy. Approximately 1 gram of carbohydrates get by using this we'll get 4 calories of energy. Alright, so this is about the carbohydrate, how it provide energy. Right, then functions of carbohydrates already we have discussed, which provide energy, right? So which provide energy to the body, and it helps in maintenance of our body temperature. Just now I told here, which also maintain body temperature. Okay, maintain body temperature, and it keep every cell, tissues and organs in a proper body functions. Means each and every cell required energy. So these carbohydrates provide energy to that particular cells and tissues. By using this energy, they function normally. So it keeps every cell, tissues and organs in a body functioning properly. So these are the functions of carbohydrates. And the next one, you know that what is it? Proteins, right? So let us see the proteins. See, if you will not eat carbohydrates, what happen? Yes, will not get energy. Okay, will become, will lose our energy and we cannot do any work, right? So like this, these are nothing but carbohydrates and its functions. Now next we will start the proteins, right? Proteins. Proteins are body building food. These proteins helps us in the growth of cells, growth of tissues. At the same time, they helps in repairing. Okay, helps in repairing of any worn tissues or any the tissues are damaged. Okay, so such kind of tissues are repaired by the help of these proteins, and also helps in growth. So that's why we'll say these are body building food. So proteins are also necessary for biochemical reactions. So whatever the reactions that takes place inside the cell. So cell have lot of various functions are performed by the cells. So that all functions are performed by various cell organs that you can learn in your 8th class. So such various functions are performed by the cell. So to perform these all functions, the cell required energy. Along with energy that is required, the cells are required even proteins also, right? So these proteins are made up of different types of elements like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. Remember, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nothing but this is carbohydrate. So along with carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, if nitrogen is present in any food component, that is nothing but protein. Is it clear? So remember this, it is very important. If the food component consists carbon, hydrogen and oxygen along with the nitrogen, that is nothing but protein. Okay, so then where we will get these proteins? These proteins are main sources in the pulses. Pulses. Okay, main sources in the pulses. Pulses are like dals, moong dal, red grams, green grams, so like that. So in the pulses, proteins are very rich. Okay, there are rich in proteins. So that's why you can observe small children, small kids continuously they will eat different types of food materials. They are made up of these pulses because it consists more proteins. They are rich in proteins. So pulses are the source of proteins. And eggs, if you will eat egg, then you can get protein, you will get proteins. And sprouted seeds, they are very healthy and you can get more proteins from these sprouted seeds, soya beans, etc. So these all and different types of vegetables also contain these proteins, right? So these are sources of proteins. Then functions of protein, why we need these all proteins? Okay, what is the use of these proteins? Already here they are body building food. See, proteins are necessary for body growth. Okay, at the same time development of our body. And the proteins are helps in cell division and to repair the tissues or cells or whatever damaged inside the body. Cell division. Cell division means what? To develop. Here growth takes place only because of the cell division. For example, if you observe when you are sick, when you are age 2, okay, when you are at 2 years old, your size is very small. Now your size, whatever, is there any change? Is your body, there is a growth takes place. Okay, you grown up. Now your size increased. How it is possible? Why you are not like when you are in 2 years, right? So at that time your body size is small. Now you are increased. Your body growth, the body growth takes place here. Means your size increased. Okay. So how this is happens? Means the cell size increased. Is it right? No, the cell size is not increased. The number of cells are increased. For example, some cells are present, some number of cells are present when you are age 2. So at that time, based on the number of cells, your body size is like that. Your body size was like that. But now the size changed. Means you've grown up. Means increasing your body size, height wise or anything. So your body size increased. It means what? That means the number of cells also increased in your body. That when you are at the age 2, at that time your body consists of some number of cells. Now the number of cells are increased. So due to the increasing of the number of cells, your body size also increased. Right? Means your body size depends upon the number of cells are present in your body. If more number of cells are present in your body, then your body also increased more. Means that more growth takes place, right? Means, so how the growth takes place, how the number of cells are increased means the cell division. One cell divided into 2, right? Then more divisions. Here 4 cells and more divisions. So 8 cells. Like that. Due to the division process, here this, because of this division, how many cells are formed? 2 cells. Okay. And one more division. How many cells are formed? 4 cells. So means from one cell, we'll get 2 cells, 4 cells and so on. Infinity number of cells because of the division. So this division takes place with the help of these proteins. Okay. Means proteins also involved in the cell division process. So that cell division helps to growth. Okay, growth of that particular organism. Is it right? Then another function of the proteins, they play more important role in different types of reactions which are takes place inside the cell. See, proteins provide energy to the body sometimes. So when the carbohydrates are not present in our body, for example, some people will do fasting. So at that time they will not eat anything, or a long journey. At that time there is no food materials are available. So then due to that they lost energy. if they will not eat any food item from morning to evening, so automatically they lost their energy. At that time, who provide instant energy? Proteins. The proteins which are present inside their body provide energy instead of carbohydrates. Okay, when the absence of carbohydrates, these proteins provide energy to the body. Okay, and not only body growth, which also not only development of body, these proteins also involved in development of mental strength. Okay, for the mental strength also these proteins are very much useful. So these are the this is total information about the proteins. And if our food consists ingredients of proteins in a proper amount, then growth and development of our body takes place properly. Means our growth and development is depend upon our food material which contain protein. Okay, more proteins helps more growth. So that's why the children or the adolescent people, that is the age where the growth takes place. So that's why they must consume the protein food. Okay, protein intake during childhood and adolescence should be more, because that is the age which is growth takes place. They require more amount of proteins, right? So this is about the proteins, is it right? Then next we'll go for fats. Right, fats are energy giving food. Fats also called energy giving food materials. Okay, so carbohydrates are called energy giving food, and these fats also called energy giving food. Then these fats are made up of three types of elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Okay, so where carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, these three elements are present in a fats. So these three elements are joined together and there's a formation of fats. These fat molecules of these fats provide energy to our body. Okay, if absence of carbohydrates, then sometimes we'll get energy from proteins and sometimes we'll get energy from the fats which are stored in our body. So if you will eat excess amount of fat, if we eat excess amount of fat, what happened to this fat? This excess fat stored in our body. This excess fat stored in our body. Where it is stored? These excess fat stored in the form of, means excess energy. For example, today morning we consume more amount of food, but we due to lack of work, what happened? Excess energy. For example, if you do more work hard, the total energy consumed by your body. But if you are not doing any activities, there is no work, just to simply sitting or sleeping. After taking food materials, if you will not do any work, what happened to the energy? That energy will not utilized by our body. So that's why that energy turns into fat. That excess energy turns into fat molecules. So that fat molecules are stored in the body, where under the skin. They store under the skin, right? So when we require energy, when we require some other day, when we require energy, the fat which is stored under the skin are again converted into energy, and this energy utilized by our body. Means this is a temporary storage substance. Okay, temporary energy storage substance. When we consume excess food materials, if the food provide energy, if the energy not utilized by our body, that energy stored in the form of fat. That energy converted into fat and stored in the form of fat. So these fats stored, where it is stored? It's stored in our body under the skin. It's stored in our body under the skin. When we require energy, at that time, the fat which is under the skin turns into energy, and that energy utilized by our body. Okay, so like this, fats helps to provide energy to our body. These are made up of three elements, that is carbohydrates, proteins, that is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Is it clear? So, if we observe, we can get your fats from two sources. Source of fats, where we will get fats? We'll get the fats from plants and animals. We'll get fats from plants and animals. So plants means from different types of sources we will get. That is mustard seeds or mustard oil, and groundnut oil, cashew nuts and coconut, walnut. These all kind of materials which are produced from the plants that provide fats. Means this is related to plant fat. Okay, and I will repeat that: mustard, groundnut, coconut, cashew nut, walnut. These all provide. These all materials, these are food materials, contain fats. And from animals also we'll get fat. From where we'll get which animals provide fats for us? Meat. Okay, example milk. If you drink milk, you can get some amount of fat. If you eat egg, along with the proteins, you will get fat. And mutton, okay, meat, butter, right? So from these all, see, butter produced from animal, nothing but from the milk. It is also animal food material, animal product. Meat, animal product. Eggs, that laid by hen or birds, right? So milk produced from animals. So these are all animal food material, animal products. So from animal products also we'll get fats. So like this, these are two sources from where we'll get fats, right? So then these fat uses, what are the uses of this fat? In our energy. At the same time, this makes our body shaped, which makes our body shaped, because I told which is located under the skin. Okay, which is located under the skin. See, for example, this is hand. So here it is a fat stored. When the fat stored under the skin, then that body parts are looking very cute. Some, for some members, where they look like a chubby people, right? So means they have some amount of fat which is stored under the skin. But if you will consume more amount of fat, so if you will consume more amount of fat, what happen? Fat food items like oily food, like junk foods, samosa, puri, so such kind of oil food, if we will take more regularly, the fat content increased in our body, then which cause obesity, which cause obesity. So this obesity is not healthy. Okay, this obesity is nothing but one of the disease, one of the disease. So that's why excess consumption of fat is not good. And here this fat is stored under the skin, and which provides shape, at the same time provide energy, and not only that, which protect, okay, which protect the internal parts of the body, which you protect, because it acts as a cushion, which acts as a cushion. So that's why this fat to protect the internal parts, because which is like a covering of internal parts, right? So these are internal parts are covered by this fat. Okay, along with the skin, this fat also protect the internal parts like bones, muscles, and from external shocks also. This fat protect the body from external shocks. Muscles, bones, they all are protected by this fat. Okay, so this is about fat and its functions. Right? The next one, what components are there? Vitamins. Okay, we'll discuss about vitamins later.